this morning, and a new friend to introduce to you this morning. Her name is Carolyne Moss. Hello.
Hello.
You're over there.
I'm over here.
Somewhere. Yeah, come a little closer to the microphone.
Oh, closer. Is this close enough?
Yes. Oh, that's good. That's nice. Do that breathy kind of... Oh, yeah. So,
I can chew my gum, too.
Somebody got into trouble for... no, that's a different subject. For doing breathy things into a microphone, I think in Washington, on a radio station a few years back. But we're not going to get involved in that. What we're going to get involved in this morning is rock and roll. I heard a tape of some of your music the other day and was blown away by it. And when I get blown away by music, I immediately want to come on the radio and play it and share it with everybody. I couldn't do that with this tape because it's a tape. It's not a record yet. And I thought, well, wait a minute, hold it. What difference does it make whether it's a tape or a record? If it's good music, it should be on the radio. So I decided that we should play it. And I also thought, since you were in town, rehearsing for your shows over at the other end, that we should have you come up and just say hello.
Well, hello, that's great. I'm always in town.
Wait a minute, hold it. You're always in town.
I haven't been out of town. Well, what do you mean out of town? Across the George Washington Bridge?
No, wherever. In town.
In town, yeah.
Where are you from?
In town locally. From Bronxville, New York, and I grew up in Long Island.
We've been reading a lot of things about you, a lot of nice things about you recently, playing around the clubs downtown, part of the, what's been called, I guess, by some people, a sort of a renaissance scene that's happening down in the village. People that are coming out of the scene now, like Steve Forbert and the Roaches and Jack Hardy. And the other name that appears with those names is Carolyne Moss. And like I said, I had no idea. Really, I've never seen you perform. We've never met before just now. But I got this tape, and I said, whoa, wait a minute. This is something else. This is not Bleecker Street folky. This is rock and roll going on here. And it's so exciting to have a new rock and roll lady on the scene. So I thought maybe we could listen to some of this music. We got 3 songs, and maybe we'll talk a little bit in between, okay?
Okay.
This first one is called Still Sane, right? That's
right.
The title of it?
One word.
That's a nice sensibility. Still Sane. This is Carolyne Moss.
Fall
All right, so I'm sitting there listening to this tape, and that one got me. That one got my foot tapping. You know, I said, okay, that's
got your butt up.
Yeah, there's there's something nice going on there. Still sane, still crazy after all these years, but you're still sane, Carolyne Moss. So the tape is rolling, and then the next song came on, and the next song was the one that won my heart. The next song is the one that kind of blew me away, and as soon as we get it queued up, we'll play it. This one is called Quote Goodbye Quote.
Yeah.
Quote,
it's about somebody who goes around the corner and doesn't come back. You know, I went around the corner to make a phone call.
And leaves a note.
Mm-hmm.
And the note simply has one word on it.
Mm-hmm.
And that word is quote goodbye quote.
Mm-hmm. There was a funny thing about a week ago in the paper, in the Daily News, I think it was, wherever Ann Landers has her column, and it was a story about a woman that she was writing in. She was very upset because her husband had just left her, and he had written a note that simply said, goodbye, and it was in quotations. That was the first paragraph of it, and I cut it out and I saved it. It was funny.
Now, you wrote the song long before you...
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I wrote that with David.
That's a great story.
Who's over here next to... In case people who are listening can't see him.
Oh, no. The people wait a minute. The people who listen to this radio station can't see it all. I'll tell you. The people who listen to this radio station have been trained over the years. You can hold up... Show them your hat. It's a nice hat.
Yeah,
just put it right to the microphone.
Look at it.
See? And they all go... They all at home...
Listen to the fabric.
Going, really?
Nice material.
They're all at home going ooh and ah.
Polyester.
You know? Let's play this song. Quote, goodbye, quote.
Goodbye, you don't have to tell me goodbye. Goodbye, you don't have to tell me goodbye. You don't have to tell me goodbye. Goodbye, you don't have to tell me. There comes a time when everything ends and I think that it's time to go. Goodbye, you don't have to tell me goodbye. There comes a time when you're nothing but friends and I think by this time you know. Goodbye, you don't have to tell me. Now I can say goodbye for you. It isn't so hard to do, and I'm so glad I can do it. So goodbye, you don't have to tell me goodbye. Goodbye, you don't have to tell me goodbye. in the sea, but the truth and it's all around. Goodbye, you don't have to tell me goodbye. Listen to me, I'll tell you definitely, truth is the best thing that I've found. Goodbye, you don't have to tell me. Now I can say goodbye for you. It isn't so hard to do, and I'm so glad I can do it. So goodbye, you don't have to tell me goodbye. Goodbye, you don't have to tell me goodbye. You don't have to tell me goodbye. Goodbye, you don't have to tell me goodbye. Goodbye, you don't have to tell me goodbye. You don't have to tell me goodbye. Goodbye, you don't have to tell me goodbye. You don't have to tell me goodbye. Goodbye, you don't have to tell me goodbye. You don't have to tell me goodbye. Goodbye, you don't have to tell me
try and understand when things are not the way you planned. But I'm telling you this time, I don't know where to draw the line, but baby, please, is it true you don't feel the way I do? Baby, please, tell me now. Maybe I can wait at the end of the line. I cannot catch up with the cold. I walk too slow and I feel old. I suppose it's very clear the way my eyes well up with fear. But baby, please, is it true you don't feel the way I do? Baby, please, tell me now. Maybe I can wait at the end of the line. I see you fade on down the street. Don't want to think someday we'll meet in the bar on the way to the top any day. But baby, please, is it true
I couldn't resist throwing in a Buzzy Linhart song from a couple of years back there called "You Don't Have to Tell Me Goodbye," coming out of quote goodbye quote. You think that might catch on, huh? Quote goodbye quote.
Goodbye quote, yeah, a household expression.
Really?
I tell you no.
Just like people just...
I'll never tell you again, probably. No, it could be. I mean,
sure, man. It's like a great kiss-off phrase.
I mean, like instead of "see you later, alligator."
Sure.
Hey, quote goodbye quote.
You Don't Have to Tell Me Goodbye from Buzzy Linhart. And this last song here is called "Baby Please." And this lady's name is Carolyne Moss. And she will be appearing at the Other End on Wednesday and Thursday, right? 2 shows
14th and 15th
each night. I've, as I said before, this is the first time we've met, so obviously I've never seen you perform either. I've just heard such incredible things from folks who have seen you perform that it is one of the most exciting and energetic rock and roll performances that people have ever seen. And these are people who have seen a lot of stuff over the years, you know? So I'm real excited about getting down to the Other End this week to check you out. And if these songs are any indication of what you're up to, I'm glad that we could have you here in the middle of the night, right at the very beginning of what
sure, I mean, I came all the way over here in my pajamas just to talk on the radio.
Got this kid out of bed.
All cut up.
Really. Tell me about, I read something somewhere about a songwriters group that you were involved in. It was like a...
I started that, and I never got any credit for it. It feels good to say that now that I started it, because there was a lot of discrepancy as to who did. And I live on Cornelia Street right now, and actually I have 2 places. I'm in the process of moving, but I had this place, and I've lived on that street for about 2 years. And about a year and a half ago, a cafe opened on that street, and the owners were into drama and music, and I started playing there. At that time, I was playing at a piano bar around the corner, a place called the Liquor Room on Bleecker Street.
Yeah.
And I quit that job there, and I started...
And what sort of music were you doing?
The piano bar thing, anything. It was just basically a place where I could go and play.
Mm-hmm.
And I would still play a gig once in a while, but I wasn't sure how to place what I wanted to do. I was very scattered about what I was doing. I would go out to Long Island and sing in a blues band, and then come in and play standards at a piano bar, and then go over and sing folk songs at a cafe, you know. And it was funny because people would come see me, and if they, depending on what they came to see, they would see a different version of me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the cafe helped me synthesize a little bit of that by allowing me to perform there with such freedom. And there was this thing at the time. There was something of a songwriters workshop going on at a place called the English Pub, but it was more or less people just going there and excuse the expression, getting their rocks off, playing a couple of songs, and I was never allowed to play because nobody knew who I was. And it was a clique. It was very cliquey.
Okay, an elite sort of group.
And so I started this thing at the cafe, invited all those people from there, and they couldn't say anything because I was the one that started it. And
it was finally your baseball, right?
When in doubt, work on your own turf. So it had this set of rules where you had to have a new song that week, and then you played the song from the week before. And by the sheer pressure of having something done in a very school kind of discipline, you know, having to have it every week, like doing your homework, I started to write very, very, very steadily. I mean, the songs were coming out of my ears. I couldn't write them down fast enough, which is weird for me. And it just started from there. I guess that's about November 77.
And who were some of the other people hanging out in this workshop?
Jack Hardy, Rod McDonald, David Massengill, people around there. And I guess it became increasingly difficult for me as I incorporated some of the rock feels of my solo singing with a blues band with my writing, because it was too much for those little walls, in the sense that I was dealing within an environment of folk purists. And I got a lot of feedback because sometimes, like a song like Quote Goodbye Quote, if I played that for those people now, I would probably be insulted because the words weren't heavy enough and there weren't enough verses. You know, really, I mean, and let me find 10 ways to say goodbye.
The drum is a little too heavy, too, isn't
it? That's so loud.
Do you write music and lyrics?
Yeah.
These 3 songs that we've heard this morning.
Yeah, well, this Quote Goodbye Quote I wrote with David Landau, who's the guitar player here, and I have to say that hook is his.
Well, thank you for that hook, because I think that hook's going to grow on people.
You're most welcome.
And speaking of hooks, how did you hook up with Steve Burke?
Oh, a very funny story. I was playing at Kenny's Castaways. This is the first time I played there with a band, and that was July of last year, and it was very, very, very good. And I was playing with a band called the John Paris Band, which is a trio. And one night, some people I knew were introduced me to Phoebe Snow, and she was interested in the attention I was getting, so she stayed to see the second show. And afterwards, apparently she had liked it so much, she approached my band without me knowing it. And so when I found out from the band, I had also heard that Steve Burke was her guitar player at the time, and I said, well, that's very funny because she wants my guitar player. So then that's how I met him, through that conflict. And he would try to find out things from her, and I would try to find out things from the band. So that we became allies in that sense. Oh, you laugh now.
That's
really.
Great.
It was awful at the time, but it turned out to be something very good.
That's a great story.
It was a great story. She still feels guilty.
So Steve Burke is the producer of these recordings.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Burke, for those of you Steve Forbert fans out there, will note that he's the producer of those recordings as well, and has done so much work over the years with a lot of. He's one of my heroes, Steve Burke, and so every once in a while he stops by with his latest project, and this is his latest project. Carolyne Moss will be at the other end Wednesday and Thursday night. It's gearing up to be an event. It's what it feels like. It feels real exciting. I wish you the best of luck. And
thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing some time with us here in the middle of the night.
Thank you. Do I get a kazoo?
You heard it. You heard about that, huh?
I was listening.
Well, now see, the only kazoo I have with me is one
Memorial kazoo.
It's one that I've already played. Now I wouldn't give a kazoo that I've glommed all over to you. You know, I mean, how about if I
glom all over it and give it back to you? We'll be even.
How about if I bring you a kazoo when I come down to the other end on Wednesday night?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, I'll stay up all night.
Carolyne Moss, I will say to you, quote, goodbye, quote.
That's all he wrote. I was ready to jump out the window. I was ready to pound on the floor. But I wasn't ready to see him up and walk out the door. Ooh, I remember the first time I saw him. Oh, I remember the night that we met. And one little word on a letter. Oh, word I'll never forget. He said, quote, goodbye, quote, that's all he wrote. That's all he wrote. He didn't give me any good reason. I tried my best so hard just to please him. And now he's walking somewhere lonely. I wish he'd give me more than only. Quote me back, quote, that's all he wrote. Quote me back, quote, that's all he wrote. Quote me back, quote, that's all he wrote.
Oh,